Hola, ¿qué tal amigos? Buenos días, buenas tardes y buenas noches. No importa la hora que sea, siempre es un gran momento para aprender español con Profesor Pablo. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, and if you have a lesson request, please send it to me via comments. Our last lesson, Subjunctive Saga 1, we learned that the present subjunctive can be brought on by a verb that's in the present tense, a verb that's in the future, or era plus infinitive. And on the whiteboard, I had the letter C, but I forgot to discuss that. So let's go with that for our lesson today. There are commands that can bring on the use of the present subjunctive. There aren't many that bring on the use of the present subjunctive because there aren't many that are used in normal everyday speaking. The three top verbs that are used in the command form to bring on the present subjunctive are way above the rest of the pack. There are other verbs like to order, boss, command, or to convince, but we're not concerned about those because they're very rarely used. And if you do need to use them later on, by virtue of this lesson, you'll be able to do them. But the three that are used, like the top three flavors of ice cream in the entire world, that's what we're talking about here. The verb decir, pedir, and hacer. These are the three verbs in the command form that we use often to bring on the present subjunctive. When you tell someone to do something, that's present subjunctive. When you ask somebody to do something, that's present subjunctive. When you make somebody do something, that is present subjunctive. Let's deal with the vosotros first for these three verbs. Decir is to tell somebody to do something, right? Pedir is to ask somebody to do something, and hacer is to make somebody do something. Well, the vosotros commands are used in Spain. They're not used much in standard Latin American Spanish. I mean, I've never, maybe a couple of times in my entire lifetime, heard someone use a vosotros command. It's just not common. The only time I ever heard vosotros spoken was with an exchange student here in Southern California. But the vosotros form is critical to know if you're in Spain or if you're dealing with people that speak in the vosotros form. So we told you hundreds of lessons ago that anytime you hear ice, ace, or is, that's a vosotros form being used. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the red ones here because those are the vosotros commands. And we'll get those out of the way first of all. To speak vosotros in the standard Latin American countries, including the United States, is like trying to wear three shoes at the same time. It's just awkward and it's very, very clumsy. But in Spain, you better know it. Like we say, when in Rome, do as the Romans. So with all due respect to vosotros, how do you do the vosotros positive command? We had a lesson on this. All you do is you take verb number 0, you take the infinitive, and change the R to a D, decid. Pedir becomes pedid, and hacer becomes haced. How do you make it negative? You just take the vosotros form of the present subjunctive. No digáis, no hagáis, and no pidáis. So that's how you do the vosotros command. And if you need that, there it is for you. Now, for standard Latin American Spanish, we have 5 commands. 5. Let's take a look here. For the verb decir, you have di, no digas, diga, digan, and digamos. Do you notice a pattern here? That's right. 4 of the 5 commands are the same as the present subjunctive, verb number 8, opposite vowel. 4 of the 5 commands are verb number 8, present subjunctive, opposite vowel, based on the yo-o form of the present tense. D happens to be the familiar positive command, and it's one of the irregulars. As, ten, pon, ben, sal, be, se, di. Those are the irregular familiar commands. We've gone over those in other lessons in the past as well. The point I'm making is 4 of the 5 commands are opposite vowel. Let's take a look at pedir. Okay, how do you form the familiar positive command? It's just the el-ella form of the present tense, regular vowel, present tense, verb number 3. Pido, pides, pide. There's your command. D just happens to be one of the irregulars. But look, 4 of the 5 commands, pidamos, pida, pidan, and no pidas, are opposite vowel. Same here. Look, no hagas, haga, hagan, hagamos. 4 of the 5 are the present subjunctive, verb number 8, opposite vowel. So You notice we have lay and lace with decir, and we have lay and lace with pedir. They go together. And when you use them, when you write it out, the lay or the lace is attached to the end of the command, if it's a positive command. If it's a negative command, it goes between the no and the command. So with decir, decir is married to lay and lace in the command form. Pedir is married to lay and lace in the command form. It's like a shadow. Where the command goes, that indirect object pronoun is going to go as well. Notice with hacer, we just use it plain and simple. No object pronoun with it. All right, let's take a look at these. If I want to say, tell her to come, it would be dile. I attach the lay to the D. Dile que venga. Tell them to go to the store. Diles, one word. Diles que vayan a la tienda. If I want to say, ask her to go to the store, it'd be pídele que vaya a la tienda. You will find that most of my examples are in the to, the familiar positive form, because that is the command that we use most. Most of the time when you command people, you're talking with friends and family, people you know, or little kids, or animals, pets. You can give commands to usted people, it's just not as common. That's why there's a heavy tendency for me in my examples to go with the familiar positive to command. Now, going back up here, tell her to come, dile que venga. If I want to say, don't tell her to come, it would be no, put your lay here, right? Between the no and the command. No le digas que venga. Tell him not to smoke. Dile que no fume, right? Sir, like someone working at a restaurant. Sir, please tell him not to smoke. There's no smoking allowed. Señor, por favor. Then it would be dígale, right here, dígale, because you're talking to an usted person that you don't know. Señor, por favor, dígale que no fumen. Let's say there are two tour guides, and you want to say to the two tour guides to ask the organizers of the tour, not just the guys, but the organizers, to take you to the beach. So it'd be pídanles que nos lleven a la playa, or pídanles que nos lleven al mar. Ask them to take us to the beach. So it's very simple. So the command for pedir, pídele, ask him or her. No le pidas, don't ask him or her. And then of course, the negative and positive usted commands are all the same. They don't change. It's like make him study, haz que estudie. Don't make him study. No hagas que estudie. Sir, make her sit down. Haga que se siente. Sir, don't make her sit down. No haga que se siente. So haga and hagan, to make them negative, you just put a no in front. It's very simple. However, the positive to command has a special negative form. You can't say as and no as. You can't say that. You're going to say d and no d in terms of a command. So remember that. Positive familiar command, then negative familiar command. Your formal commands, and then let's. Let's tell them to come to the party. Digamos, put the lace on the end. Digamosles que vengan a la fiesta. Let's ask them to come to the party. Pidámosles que vengan a la fiesta. This is a comma. It's not an accent on the A. However, once you attach lay or lace, there would be in written form an accent on the A. But because there's nothing attached to pidamos, there is no accent mark on it. Haz, make him come. Haz que venga. Make him listen to you. Haz que te escuche. Make him give it to you. Haz que te lo dé. Make him not do it. Haz que no lo haga. Make him tell the truth. Haz que diga la verdad. Make him understand. Haz que entienda. All right, let's practice. We have two columns. Here we go. Tell them to come. Diles que vengan. Ask her to go to the store. Pídele que vaya a la tienda. Make them leave. Make them go away. Make them take off. Make them scram. Make them beat it. Haz que se vayan. Haz que se vayan. Fumar. Ask them not to smoke. Pídele que no fume. Tell him not to smoke. That's pretty direct. Dile que no fume. Sir, you're at a restaurant. Tell the waiter, please tell him not to smoke. Por favor, dígale que no fume. You'd probably say, pídale. Ask him. That's more polite. Pídale que no fume. All right, let's go with tomar. Mom to dad to tell the son, tell him not to drink. Dile que no tome. Ask your mom to pay the bill. Pídele a tu mamá que pague la cuenta. Ask them to help. Pídeles que ayuden. Honey, tell the kids to get dressed. Ah, mi amor, tell the kids to get dressed. Diles a los niños que se vistan, V-I-S. Lavar. Make him wash the car. Haz que lave el carro. Volver. Let's tell them to return tomorrow. Digámosles que vuelvan mañana. Pensar. Let's tell her to think it over. Digámosle que lo piense. Tell him to think it over a little bit more. Dile que lo piense un poco más. All right, our second column, recoger. Ask mom to pick me up at the airport. Pídele a mamá que me recoja with a J-A. Que me recoja en el aeropuerto. Llevar. Ask her to take you to school. Pídele que te lleve a la escuela. Sir, tell them to wait for us. Dígales que nos esperen. Limpiar. Tell them to clean up the room. Diles que limpien el cuarto. Llamar. Ask her to call me. Pídele que me llame. Ask her to tell you the story. Pídele que te cuente la historia. Contar, O-T-U-E. Apurarse. Tell them to hurry up. We're going to be late. Diles que se apuren. Sir, tell them to hurry up. Dígales que se apuren. Ma'am, sir, please tell them to hurry up. Por favor, díganles que se apuren. Gritar. Sir, ask them not to shout. Señor, pídales que no griten. You tell them not to shout. Diles tú que no griten. Callarse. Sir, tell them to quiet down. We're in a hospital. Señor, por favor, dígales que se callen. Estamos en un hospital. Tirar. Tell them not to litter. Dígales, sir, dígales, ma'am, dígales que no tiren la basura. Father to mother to son. Tell them not to litter. Dile que no tire la basura. And the last one, sentarse. Ask them to sit down. Pídeles que se sienten. If they don't sit down, tell them to sit down. Diles que se sienten. Okay, now let's summarize. The three commands that we use every day in the Spanish language. We use commands basically with friends, family, pets, animals, little kids, students, younger students in school, are these three verbs. Decir, pedir, and hacer. We make people do stuff, we tell people to do stuff, and we ask people to do stuff. The most common command used is going to be the familiar positive command. The di, the as, those are two irregulars, and pide. Now, if you want to go negative, like don't tell him to come, would be no le digas que venga. Don't tell him to quiet down. No le digas que se calle. Don't tell me to sit down. Don't tell me to shut up. No me digas a mí que me calle. So the negative is used as well. Don't make him tell you. No hagas que te lo diga. So the positive and negative, what I'm trying to say is the familiar commands are much more common than the usted commands, but everybody's life experience is unique. If you're in a situation where you're in a real formal setting and all day long you're giving commands out to people with whom the formal form of address is more appropriate, then your reality is maybe that you're going to use the usted formal commands more often. And then the we command, let's make, let's tell somebody to do something, let's ask somebody to do something, that's not near as common. And then of course, for those of you that have need for vosotros, there you go. Haced, no hagáis. Decid, no digáis. Pedid, no pidáis. All right, I think we pretty much, it's like having a wet dish rag soaked, just dripping with water. And our job was to keep squeezing and twisting that wash rag. And we've twisted and twisted, and there's no moisture, no water left in it. We got as much as we could. We soaked up all of this lesson. I believe now you're going to understand how to use these three verbs commanding people to do something. So, task-oriented, you should now be able to tell someone to do something, you should be able to ask someone to do something, and you should be able to make someone do something in terms of making that statement. Now, whether you use the familiar or the formal or the we form or the vosotros, that depends on your situation, where you are and to whom you're speaking. Okay? Es todo por ahora. Gracias. We have over 6,000 subscribers now. Let's get to 7,000. Let's get to 10,000. Let's blow this thing up. But I need your help. Please share. Get the word out there, right? Lots of lessons. And please check profesorpablo.com and check out my ebook. It's only $15, over 500 pages, all sorts of charts, common everyday expressions, thousands of them alphabetically organized. There is a verb dictionary alphabetically organized in English. Not only does it tell you the verb, it tells you if it's quirky, if it's stem changing, right? If it's irregular. All of that stuff is there. It is your best resource that you can have at your fingertips, on your phone, have it on your computer, on your laptop. So there you go. Okay. Hasta pronto. Cuídense mucho. Colorín colorado. Esta lección se ha enseñado. Hasta luego. Bye.